Hello and welcome back to the most amazing channel on the internet. I'm your host Rebecca Felgate, and as the weather is getting hotter out there in the northern hemisphere, we are getting out and about to the garden. Yes, that's right, fire up the grill. Do it now, because we're talking top 10 scary things found in backyards. I honestly have an irresistible urge to sing Khalees's Milkshake, but I will wait to the end of the video for that. And now I'm kind of freaking out because I'm wondering if you guys are old enough to remember that song? And if you're not, just, I guess, I invented it. I wrote it. It's mine. 10 out of 10 worth sticking around for though. Also, by the way, we have a brand new channel called Tier List where we are rating things. I just filmed a super spicy chili challenge with Landon and Jack Finch from Top 5 Scary Videos, and I think you should check out the channel. There's a link in the description box and a video for you to click somewhere over here. Okay, also before we get into this video, let's have some classic backyard chat. Do you have a back garden? Have you ever found anything scary there? Has Milkshake ever attracted swathes of lads? I just need more information in the comments section down below. Also, I'd love a thumbs up for this video. Do check out the links in the description box to our sources and our most amazing Instagrams, and stick around to the end because, well, you know why. Coming into number 10, we have a whole cemetery. Imagine walking into your yard one day and being like, I'm gonna do it! I'm gonna finally build a pool! And then, when you start putting spade to soil, you start digging, you discover that actually you've been sunning yourself atop an ancient cemetery. Absolutely not. No thank you. Vincent Marcello lives in the historic French Quarter of New Orleans, so I'm sure that he knew that there was a likelihood of something old being unearthed. He just didn't expect it to be hundreds upon hundreds of human bodies. It seems that once the digging started, one of the most densely populated old burial sites in the area was unearthed. Mr. Marcello later began working with forensic teams to reunite existing family members to the human remains. It is unclear whether or not he ever got his pool, but I have to say, if he did, how could he not think of that scene from Poltergeist? You know the one. More pool drama at number 9, we have the alligator. Snap, snap. I guess that this is an occupational hazard of living somewhere lovely like Florida, because with the good, I guess, has to come the bad. On the one hand, hurrah! Lovely weather and pool fun and parties and pool floats and yay! But on the other, uh-oh, gator in the pool. Once again, snap, snap. Now I'm curious, how many of you guys actually live in Florida? Have you ever had an alligator in your pool? Is this normal? Kinda sounds scary to the rest of us, to be honest with you. In April 2018, a 10-foot gator was fished out of a pool in Sarasota County, and this picture was captured of the rescue. Ah! Coming into number 8, we have an actual cheetah. So you would think that this story would have gone down in like Africa where cheetahs are a thing, but the scariest thing about this story, other than, you know, kill a cat, big claws, is that actually it happened in a small town in Cambridgeshire in England. Basically, usually the scariest wild animal is pretty much a rabbit with myxomatosis, so yeah, cheetah in the garden. A 9-year-old boy by the name of Toby Taylor saw a cheetah in his garden. How did he know it was a cheetah? Well, it came replete with sharp teeth, a fearsome roar, long claws, and the classic spots. Toby was riding his bike in the yard when he saw the big cat emerging from some bushes. He ditched his bike and ran inside, like I think the rest of us probably would. He screamed to his mum that there was a killer cat in the garden. Now at first she was bemused. Honestly, good job he got inside because the cheetah gnawed on the boy's bike. His mum Jules said, "We peered out of the kitchen window and there it was, sitting bang in the middle of our lawn looking towards the house. Then it got hold of Toby's bike and it started ripping it to bits." I guess better his bike than Toby, right? She said, "I was in a blind panic and didn't know what to do, so I phoned 999. Now it seems the cheetah had actually escaped from the nearby Hamerton Zoo. The zoo downplayed the incident, and the cheetah, called Akia, was dubbed as friendly as a pet dog. Somehow, I don't think so. Coming into number 7, we have 3,000 unexploded bombs. What a find! It seems that thousands of unexploded World War II bombs dating back over 70 years were discovered in the courtyard of a residential house in China. This is another case of, ooh, let's build a pool. Oh wait, hell no. Honestly, get a literal load of these unexploded weapons. What is happening? Should we ever build pools? You never know what you're gonna find. It is said that the majority of the explosives were hand grenades along with mortars and incendiary bombs. I don't know what they are, but you know, bombs. Bombs! Bombs. bombs. The bombs were thought to be left over from the Second Sino-Japanese War that took place between 1937 and 1945, and once again, bombs. Coming into number 6, we have a lost Hollywood star. Now this is actually a really sad story. In 1996, Margaret Kidder was found dirty, frightened and paranoid in bushes in someone else's back garden in Los Angeles. Honestly, imagine hearing a rustling in your garden and going out to find a star in mental distress. At the time, Kidder was 47 and had made her name as Lois Lane in 1978's Superman. Sadly, in the mid-1990s, she suffered a mental breakdown and went missing. Now, at the time of her discovery in a residential garden, she'd cut off her hair with a razor blade and was covered in bruises and scratches. She'd been living feral in the bushes for days. She claimed that she'd been the victim of assault and that she was hiding from someone, but officers who responded to a concerned homeowner's call found no evidence that she'd actually been the victim of a crime. Sadly, Kidder, who committed suicide and died last year, was suffering from a serious mental health lapse. Still though, can you imagine going out into your garden and finding, I guess, what was a literal madwoman? Poor woman. Coming into number 5, we have a stash of cursed cash. A 51-year-old man from Illinois was picking broccoli in his garden when he came across $150,000 in cash. Now, Wayne Sabaj was unemployed at the time of the discovery, but nonetheless he was a good Samaritan and alerted the police who retrieved the money. Now, they said if nobody had claimed the cash by the end of 2012, it would be his to keep. However though, a spanner was in the works. It came when his 87-year-old neighbor Dolores Johnson claimed that she'd thrown the cash away because it was cursed. Shortly after Johnson died, the money was then set to be sent to Sabaj because he found it. Just 10 days before the money was due to be released to him, unfortunately, he passed away too. It was then decided that the money would go to his dad, who then went into cardiac arrest. So was this cursed money? Honestly, if I found $150,000 in my garden, I think it would probably be too good to be true. Coming into number 4, we have an alien. What is this? Honestly, get a look at this and tell me what on earth you think it is, because I have no idea. It's gross and I don't want to touch it. Blech. A slimy pink creature turned up in a woman's backyard and had tongues of the internet wagging with theories. Was it an alien? The Californian homeowner posted the image on Facebook saying, "I wasn't going to post this, but I can't stop trying to figure out WTF this thing is. I heard something scream at like 11:30 last night and went on my yard and found this thing." Now, some responders were telling the woman to salt the ground. Many more level-headed viewers claimed that the creature was actually a deformed deer fetus. Either way, what a thing to find in your garden. Alien or just deformed creature? Like, my reaction would be the same. Coming into number 3, we have deadly snakes. I don't know why I said it like that, but I hope you enjoy it. Imagine having an old shed at the bottom of the garden and one day you spot a snake slithering under it. Now, we don't have rattlesnakes in the UK, but they are a thing in America, especially Texas and the South. Now, Bobby Cowan and his 2 friends were at his property working on a windmill when they saw a rattlesnake slither under an old hunting shed. They used machinery to lift the crumbling shed to find the deadly snake, but when they lifted it, I don't even really know how to break this to you. I feel a bit sick. Do you want to see what they found instead?
What's that big one at?
Yep, that is a nest of rattlesnakes, a literal nest. They're slithering everywhere. No! There are between 35 to 50 of the blighters just slithering around under there, and honestly, to me, that's the stuff of nightmares even though I'm a Slytherin. I just can't. Too many snakes. Like snakes casually dropping from places? Yuck. No. No. The video was posted on Facebook and went viral in 2018. It currently has over 800,000 views, but again, I have to say no. 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 I'd actually rather see this at number 2 than snakes, but at number 2 we have a ghost. In March 2019, a family checked over their CCTV footage to spot a ghost in their backyard. The spectre was spotted by 39-year-old mother Amanda Papadopoulos, who was home in Lincoln. Now, their house used to be a former Victorian school. The ghost seemed to be of a Victorian child walking across the grounds. Have a look for yourself. Mrs. Papadopoulos discovered the footage after receiving a notification from SNEKS. That's the security company that made the camera, and they basically alert you when there's been activity in your house. She was alerted that there was activity in her garden, and she was shocked when she looked over the footage. In an interview, she said, "I don't want to look at it too much. My husband thinks it's fantastic, whereas I'm actually a bit more scared." She also said that it wasn't the first time something strange had happened on the property. Her family had heard a few things go bump in the night. Ghosts in the garden, ghosts in the garden. What could be worse at number 1? Oh, it's a human foot. I don't know why I make these songs up, but there they are for you. In July 2016, a severed foot was found in the undergrowth of the garden of a property in Bath in England. It was the second foot found within 5 months, and baffled officers due to its seeming lack of DNA. The foot was from an adult white Caucasian human and had been seriously doused in preservative chemicals. The first foot was found in a park by dog walkers a month before the second. And, dear reader, I hate to break it to you, a third foot was found in another garden in Bath just a month later. This was in a residential area called Cranswell Park. 3 feet! Honestly, that's one too many feet. Imagine finding a severed foot in your garden. Like, no, absolutely no. No, no, no. There's not enough no's in the world for my thoughts on severed feet in the garden. No. Anyway, police still don't know what happened. An Avon and Somerset Constabulary spokesman released a statement in 2016 to say, "We have carried out an extensive investigation into all 3 feet and have exhausted all active lines of inquiry pending any new information. We are satisfied that no crime has been committed and that the feet are more than likely an exhibit from a medical or educational establishment or from a private collection which has been disturbed by animals." Now guys, anyone else listening to this thinking, what are you talking about? What do you mean? This doesn't give me any sense of solace or peace at all. It doesn't really make it any less creepy, right? Private collection of dead people has been disturbed by animals and hacked off body parts are turning up on people's lawns. Like, thank you. Actually, I really don't trust you as my police force. Sorry if you're watching. But still, feet in the garden. You need to do something about this. Okay, that is the end of that. Before I go, I'm going to read some comments from the top 10 scary deep sea diving stories. That one dude NS said, note to self. Number 1, when scuba diving, if you find a shoe, 9 out of 10, somebody died. Number 2, when scuba diving, bring a scientist. Never trust a professional diver. If you fail or die, coming back up, the scientist can calculate the errors and learn from them. Good. Great. Thank you, I agree though, shoes while diving, no. Harley Dahl said, I love your voice Mr. Wrecker, and I am a lover of the ocean but undoubtedly would never be able to go diving due to health issues. You know what? Don't you worry, there is so much fun to be had on the land, so let's just have all the land fun. Good, great, thank you. Now I promised you a rendition of my milkshakes bring all the boys to the yard, and I'm gonna do it because I deliver. My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard and they're like, it's better than yours. Damn right, it's better than yours and I could teach you but I would have to charge. Oh, I honestly still think I'm feeling really high from the chilies I had earlier, so that's how I'm going to excuse that. But I've gone crazy, please like this video. I'm your host Rebecca Felgate. I'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye.